Welcome to What the F Did I Just Read? My name is Laura Mihaffey. I am the founder and head librarian of the Carolina Manga Library. That means I have the best job on the planet. The Carolina Manga Library is a nonprofit organization. We've been in business for 10 years this year. Oh my God. I know. We've been to 25 states. We've served close to 1 million different people. And we operate a traveling graphic novel library. I go everywhere from New York City to Miami to all the way out here in Chicago and everywhere in between. I go to schools, hospitals, children's shelters, conventions, book festivals, anywhere that wants me to come set up so I can give free access to people, to kids mostly. I really do this for most of the kids. I give them free access to graphic novels. I've been collecting manga and comics since the late 80s, okay? My first ASIN was 1999. I've been doing this a long time, y'all. So I came across this idea to run the manga library about 10 years ago. And I went to another convention, and I looked at their manga library, and I was in library school at the time. I guess I'm officially a librarian. I have a fancy graduate school degree that says so. You know what that means? That means I can make Google do things that would terrify you. That's what the word librarian means now. So anyway, I went to the other con and I looked at their manga library, and I spent maybe half an hour in there, and most of it spent thinking to myself, I could do this better. I could do this better. I can do this better. Crap, I'm gonna do this better, aren't I? Yep, let's do it. So we started off with my collection of about 1,200 books, because of course I had like 1,200 books, and now we have over 5,000. Nice. Right? I know. You guys can't see me over there in the corner, can you? I'm sorry, I'm behind the podium, I'm here. I'm not just a disembodied voice. I have glitter. So, the reason we have 5,000 books is because we take donations all the time. I tip my mailman every day because he brings me boxes and boxes of books that people like you're cleaning out your houses, you're getting ready to move up to college, you're moving house, whatever. You notice you've got a bunch of books that you just don't read anymore. Well, give them to me. If I already have them, I'll go give them to a local children's shelter or a local hospital, or I'll do a fundraiser and I'll sell off a bunch of manga to people. We can always take your donations. And it's not just manga. Anything that's sequential art, you can send to me, okay? You can jump on my website. It's carolinamangalibrary.com. I've got some business cards here on the table. You can box it up and send it to me. I'm going to tell you, I have this rule, okay? Every single thing that we get donated, if I haven't read it, I read at least the first volume of every single thing I get donated. Because you never know when there's a cleverly disguised hentai. Y'all, I swear to God, I'm sorry, my twang's coming out. I'm from North Carolina. I'll try to hold it in. There have been so many times where I will pick up, it looks like a cutesy little girl on the cover, like a cat girl or something, fully clothed, everything's great. Back cover says it's about love and friendship. I'm like, banging, I open up the book, get to page 3, nothing but sex. Like the whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got some adult material in my library. Okay, we have stuff for every single age group. I draw the line at pure on smut, though. So when I tell you that I've read a lot of books, I've read a lot of books. So that's one of the reasons I run this panel. I'm going to share with you a bunch of recommendations of stuff that I have found over the last couple of months that I read, and I was like, what is this? What is this, and why do I love it? Okay? So let me explain to you how this is going to work. Okay, you're going to listen to me chatter for like the next 45 minutes, and you're going to love every minute of it, trust me. I make you a promise right here and now. If you sit all the way through this panel and then come to the very end after the question and answer session, I will play you a video of adorable hungry kittens. I make you this, I swear to you on my cat's whiskers, I will do it for you. Okay, couple of things. So I'm going to break down by genre. Okay, I'm gonna say we're gonna talk about action now, and I'm gonna give you 2 recommendations. Okay? Have you guys actually been to the manga library yet today? Some of you? Oh my God. Okay, don't worry, we're open till 10 p.m. Right? I'm getting ready to tell you. So, the manga library is over in the Hyatt. Okay? If you've been in the Hyatt, you've seen the gigantic wooden statue that looks like a bunch of feces. I'm right next to it. Yes, I know. So if you're at the giant pile of poo, just walk past it a little bit and look to your left. You will see a room full of books and sparkles. There's lots of glitter in that room. I'm sorry. You don't need anything. You just need to show us that you have a badge, And if you come in the room, when you leave, we're just gonna look inside your bag to see if you stole anything. There's a reason we do this. Somebody once ran off with my entire run of my original 1994 Sailor Moons. If I'd found them, they'd be dead. But I never found them, so they ruined it for everybody, so now we have to check bags, I'm sorry. So, Manga Library is open today until 10 p.m. We're open tomorrow from 10 to 10, and Sunday from 10 to 3. Yes, I will be there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed the whole bloody time. Okay? Now, a couple more things about these. I'm only going to give you 2 recommendations. I could do this literally the entire weekend and not run out of books. Okay? I rewrite this panel for every single event that I do. I literally wrote this one at 3 in the morning. Last night. This morning.
Dedication.
I swear that's water. I swear. Okay, so other cool thing. Every single book I'm going to talk about, I brought it with me. It is in the Manga Library. So if you want to go try it out, you just follow my sparkly butt across the street and I will literally lead you like the Pied Piper of literacy to my Manga Library. Okay? Last little caveat. If I do not talk about your favorite series ever, I probably talked about it last week. Okay? I literally I did action once in early days. I did action and I had this dude sit in the back and I did my 2 books. It was great. Kept going with my panel. He got up and left, which happens, whatever. I get back to my Manga Library an hour later, the convention chair comes to me and he says, "You've had a complaint." And I said, "I had a what?" "It's a Manga Library. How do you complain about a Manga Library?" "I'm sorry, did they read something naughty?" And he said, No, sweetie. You didn't talk about Berserk." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you didn't talk about Berserk in your panel," and he was mortally offended. So please don't think that I'm not going to talk about your favorite series. I may probably already love it. I only have an hour. I'm sorry. So if I don't talk about your favorite series ever, follow me back to the library and tell me about it, because if I haven't read it, I want to. All right. Any questions before I get started? No? Let's do this. All right. Oh, hand. What? I can't hear you. Hi.
Why exactly do you have a bunch of glitter in your Manga Library?
Because why not? I mean, have you seen my dress? Look at these sleeves, okay? I think I can twirl. Okay, all right.
Sorry, we need to show this off. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Oh my god.
Here, let me actually just leave this move so y'all can actually see it. Yes, dear.
And how long will the glitter stay with us?
How long does it go? What?
How long does the glitter stick to us once we go in?
So, okay, before I go on to my first one, just to answer your question, my anniversary is today. I've been married for 14 years. The glitter still hasn't come off of him. He's still got glitter on him from our first date. Okay? Other questions now that I can actually see all you beautiful people? Hi, beautiful people. Hi. All right. One more tiny thing. I have a preview of what's coming up next. So if you see my face go, oh, remember I wrote this at 3 in the morning. Here we go. All right. So Rooster Fighter is a brand new manga. It's currently in publication. It's only been out for like 6 or 7 months. Just be grateful I didn't have any candy. Okay. All right. No. God, no. All right. So Rooster Fighter is the story of this completely badass rooster who's clucking along on his farm. And all of a sudden, the farm gets attacked by a giant demon, which is a personification of the human condition. And he beats the crap out of it, giant kaiju style, and decides that he has discovered his life's mission. He is going to travel around the world and fight demons. He has no powers. He's just a rooster. This is Veroni Kenshin as a rooster. Okay? And yes, it is as stupid as it sounds. He meets other traveling fighting roosters. Because of course he does. They find him. He becomes famous as the fighting rooster. I read this. My husband brought it home for me. He's a librarian too, because of course he is. And he brought it home for me and he says, "You're going to want to read this." And I took one look at it and I said, "No." I said, "No." He said, "Will you do it for Red Lobster?" And I said, "Damn it." He said, "I will go get you Red Lobster if you stay here and read this book and give me a review at the end." It was the best damn biscuits I've ever had in my life. All right, so yes, if you enjoy just stupid action, there's no plot to this, okay? There's nothing going on in this series. It's just pure, unadulterated popcorn manga. And you will love every minute of it. Every finger licking good minute of it? All right. All right, Prince Freya. Oh God, this one's so good. Okay, this was a surprise. This was actually, I didn't order from Right Stuff and they sent me this accidentally. I don't know how they did it, but I had a free book in my box and then I read it and I was like, oh crap, where's the rest? All right. So Prince Freya is about a young girl who lives in a village with her mother who is ill, and her two adopted brothers, basically, like they were raised with her, they come all the time and they visit, and they're both knights of the realm, okay? So they serve the young prince and everything's wonderful, and she's like the sweetest little thing on the planet, everything's great. Well, one day her brothers come to visit and they leave something important at her house, so she has to follow them back to the capital to give them back this thing. So she walks into the palace grounds, and she sees this dude in the courtyard dying. He's been poisoned. And he looks up at her and says, "Oh good, they found you. Take care of my kingdom," and he dies. And she's kind of staring at him. She's like, "Why is my body on the floor?" It's his identical twin. They could be twins, literally. So now she has to disguise herself as the prince of this realm, who's like an ultimate badass. And she's like this little dumb village girl from nowhere. Okay? So she has to pretend to be the prince so that the kingdom does not fall into war, because the king is ill. And they're already in a war and she has to get them out of it. This is so good. If you've ever read Yona of the Dawn, it's got that kind of feel, except much more blood. Lots more blood and fewer less hot dragons, which is sad. But it's okay. So yes, Prince Freya, if you like your stories actiony, where you have no idea what's going to happen next, give Prince Freya a try. This is another new one. Oh no. So romance. If you were to cut me, I would bleed glitter and shoujo. I have read so many shoujo manga. I have forgotten more about shoujo manga than you will ever read in your life. Okay? So when I say these are different, I'm actually going to start off with an isekai. I hate isekai. Okay? I detest isekai. Don't get me wrong, some of it's good. It's just oversaturated and horrible. Okay? So when I tell you this is a good isekai, shut up and pay attention. All right. Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. God, I hate these titles so much. This is a very short series. It's only 5 books long. Thank you. It's only 5 books long, okay? Young lady's walking down the street after she gets off of work one day, and God comes to her and says, "Oh, I found you. You're going to be the savior of my new world." And she says,
The hell I am.
I'm 30. Don't you want like a fluffy-haired 14-year-old? He's like, no, I want you. And she's like, dude, I work in an office. I'm going to go get my dinner from the convenience store and go home. And he's like, no. Seriously, you can do anything you want in this world. Just come save my world for me. And she says, all right, look. I'll come do this for you, but I have a couple of rules. I want to know every language. I want to know every magical spell. I want to be impervious to disease. Basically, an adult gets put into an isekai. It's like if I went, I would have like a book of rules. I'm like, I want all these things. So she goes and she saves the world without anybody knowing who she is. And now she's just living there and she opens up a book cafe in the woods. This is sweet and wonderful, and she falls in love with the head of the guards, who's adorable and cute, and they're so sappy, like they make Skittles look sour. Okay? That's how sweet they are. And on top of that, though, it's actually a really interesting world they're building. I like the story. I like the fact that she's older. It's nice to actually see a protagonist, still younger than me because I'm old as dirt, but, an older protagonist is not a fluffy-haired idiot.
It's not a teenager.
It's not a teenager. Funny thing, The reason she has to go save the world is because the last savior was a fluffy-haired teenager who ruined it. Right? So yeah, definitely. A quick read. Savior's Book Cafe Story Another World. Book 5 comes out, I want to say next month. I've got it pre-ordered, but I'm not going to touch my phone because I'm sure it's blown up by now. Every time I walk away from the library, things go wrong. That's why I'm not even looking at my phone. So yeah, give Savior's Book Cafe a try. If you don't have Webtoon on your phone, get your dang phone out and put Webtoon on your phone because you are missing some cool stories. Okay? Webtoon, of course, is the free comic app that you can read independent comics from, the United States, from Korea, from Japan, other cool places. This was one that I was surprised that I liked. It has everything I hate, but I liked it. So this is The Remarried Empress. All right. Basically, I'm going to dumb this down because I don't want to give anything away for cool twists. All right. Our Empress is married to the Emperor. They've been married for years now. They have no children. And he decides he's going to get a side chick. An official mistress, a side chick. Okay?
He just sort of finds her.
Yeah, he just kind of finds a side chick, literally, because he wants to be all white savior. Yeah, he does. Don't get me wrong, he does. Okay? So he gets his side chick, and he goes to his wife, and he says, okay, so we're going to get divorced because my side chick is pregnant and you're not. So I'm going to marry my side chick, make her kid my heir, and then I'll divorce her and marry you again because you're a good empress. Now keep in mind, this woman is incredibly intelligent. Okay, she's basically running this kingdom for him. So she sits down and she thinks about it for a minute. She's like, no. So this is all happening in I'm literally summing up the first chapter for you, so I'm not even spoiling anything. So the day of the divorce comes and she says, I do not contest this divorce. I accept divorce, but I want to be allowed to remarry. And everyone's like, oh, no, you can't remarry. You're going to marry the king again. And all of a sudden this hot blonde dude walks up and says, no, I'm the king of your neighboring country and I'm going to marry her. Throw in the fact that this is a magical world where people turn into birds and there's mages and shit. This is amazing, okay? Oh my God. The Remarried Empress, it's not, it's a slow burn, okay? This is a slow burn series. Do not turn it off. Do not turn it off, close it after one chapter. Trust me. Give it at least 5 chapters because you're gonna love to hate the mistress, okay? You're gonna hate her because she tries to be sweet and cute, but it's like that horrible sweet and cute, like that one person you knew in high school that was tried to be everybody's friend that was super, super, super sweet, but you hated them? Yeah, that's her, okay? Oh my God, Remarried Empress is so good. All right, how am I doing on time? Excellent. All right. Oh, let's talk about blood and guts and horror. Goody. I love blood and guts and horror. Oh, Miroku-chan. Oh, I did not think I was going to like this series either. This is a comedy horror series. Right. So Miroku sees dead things. But she sees things that would give Junji Ito nightmares. This has some of the best grotesque body horror I have seen in years outside of Junji Ito, okay? So she's living her life seeing all these dead things and ignoring them because if you acknowledge them, they pay attention to you. So she walks down the street and steps around dead things that only she can see while her friends are like, what are you doing? Because they can't see what she does. She goes down to breakfast every morning and her father greets her and her mother's there and her sister's there and they're having breakfast, everything's great, and Miroku-chan's kind of pale the whole time and she gets up and walks off. And the little sister says, Mommy, I wish Daddy hadn't died. And Dad's sitting right there with this big nasty demon thing on his shoulder saying, I wish I hadn't too, honey. What? So yeah, give Miroku-chan a try. I'm pretty sure it got made into an anime recently. Yes? Okay, good. Yes. Okay, it was a Netflix anime. So I've seen some of the art they've done for the anime. The manga versions will give you nightmares. They're amazing, okay? Seriously, even if you just go pick it up and open it. Pick a page, and you'll be grotesque. It'll be great. All right. Okay, like I said, I can see. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Sweet little baby kitty lives with her daddy, and one day daddy gets sick. And she's very worried about her daddy, and then daddy falls down, But he gets back up again, and that's great. But why, Daddy, why are you chasing me? Daddy, why are you trying to hurt me? Daddy, why? I have to escape. I have to go. I have to find a new daddy. This is literally the zombie apocalypse as seen by a cat. It's literally The Walking Dead with a cat as your main character. Okay? You will sob like a 5-year-old when you read this. Okay? I'm sorry in advance. I'm not really. I'm really not. I'm not sorry for any of these. But yes, The Walking, it's wonderful. It's very eerie. It's a horror series, of course, because it's zombies, but it's an eerie kind of zombie because you're seeing it through a cat. So you're seeing feet, you're seeing shambling body parts. You're not seeing the faces all the time. So yeah, she just wanders the world trying to find new parents that won't eat her. It's the entire book, and it's amazing. It's like this thick. It's great. Oh, it's so good. All right, let's lighten it up a little. Oh God. Batman Wayne Family Adventures. This is another webtoon. Okay, I told you I was married to a librarian. He's a comic book librarian. Nice. He's also a children's librarian. He's obsessed. He's been obsessed with Batman since he was like 2, okay? This is so good that we have an alarm set on our phones for Wednesday at 9 p.m. when this updates because we read it together out loud. All right, Batman Wayne Family Adventures. Everyone knows Batman, and he knows he has this habit of adopting children who have troubled pasts. These are all stories about those kids when they're not fighting crime. The first chapter is literally them all coming back from patrol one morning, and Alfred has cooked them this great, wonderful dinner, and they're all sitting down talking about their evenings, and all of a sudden they get down to the last cookie. These are Alfred's homemade chocolate chip cookies. Hijinks ensue, and they literally have a fight to get the last cookie. This has every Bat character you have ever thought about, a few you haven't, and a few I'm sure you've never heard of, because I had to go look them up, okay? It's very wholesome. It's adorable. I'm so glad this is coming out in print. I pre-ordered the heck out of this. It has heartwarming stories. If you know who Damian Wayne is, he is Bruce Wayne's biological son. He's been raised by assassins his whole life. There's a whole chapter about his birthday, okay? And everyone's kind of distracting him, waiting for Bruce to show up because Bruce is always late no matter what. And the kid thinks this is all stupid because he was raised by assassins. You know, these are dumb children's games. What am I doing eating a cake? And so he comes to his father comes in and he says, "Hey son, happy birthday. I'm sorry I wasn't here on time." And the kid's like grumbling. He's like, "You're never on time." "Well, I couldn't think of what to get you. So I thought the one thing that I never had growing up was a friend. Here's a puppy." So you give an assassin child a puppy. And he takes the puppy and he looks at it and he says, "Mother would never let me have a pet." And he puts the puppy down and he takes a step back. He says, "Sit, Murder King." And the puppy sits. Instant love. Again, that's just one chapter. This is this kind of, it doesn't matter what chapter you pick. There's no overarching story in this. It's on Webtoon. It's free. You can read any chapter you want. You will love it as much as I do. It also tackles some really fun, not fun, but interesting traumas. There's a whole chapter on PTSD from Jason Todd because he got beat to death by the Joker. Well, he hears a sound that triggers him, and it puts him back into the, he regresses, and his family has to pull him out of it. And it's done very realistically. So yeah, it's not just, fluff and cute. It actually deals with some good stuff. So yeah, Batman Wayne Family Adventures. I am so happy this is in publication. Yes. All right. Heaven's Design Team. This is another one. I read this, and I walked into my husband's office, and I threw it on his desk, and I said, "You're reading this." And he's like, "Bunny, I don't wanna." My nickname is Bunny. He says, "Bunny, I don't wanna. I'm tired." And I said, "Listen to me. If you don't read this, I am sleeping on the couch for 3 nights." He picked up the book immediately. All right. Heaven's Design Team. When the earth was created, God decided he was going to make all the creatures and fauna of the world. He made about 5 and got bored. And he outsourced the creation of everything floral and fauna to a bunch of angels. And they create the things of the world. This is an educational book because it's literally going to teach you about the animals and the plants that they create. Every time they make something, they have to put it in like a proto-test earth to see if it'll survive. They're all quirky. One girl only invents poisonous things. One dude, he peaked early. He invented the horse. And he's been trying to, reach that high ever since. So he creates seahorses and unicorns and pegasuses and the giraffe. So yeah, it's stupidly hilarious. Do what?
I like to they figure the koala would survive.
There's a whole chapter on that.
It also has an anime adaptation.
There is an anime adaptation of it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good. I've seen all of it.
All right. Shameless plug. I'm sorry. The Manga Library is doing a Kickstarter right now for enamel pins. Yes, those pins do in fact say Old Taku and We a Boomer. If you were to follow us on social media, by the way, there's lots of cats on my social media. We have 3 library cats. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Carolina Manga Library. All of the link is on all of those. Please do it. It ends next Sunday. And we're raising money to buy a new vehicle because I had to rent a truck to get here. It cost me $1,000 to bring the library here this weekend. Please go buy some pins. On that note, I also have a sales table in the Manga Library. I have $5 manga. Right? Old school $5 manga?
Yes.
I literally sold an entire set of XXX Holic this morning. Yeah, I got good stuff. All right, on to fantasy. I'm gonna do it on time. Yes, excellent. This one is so brand new. Literally, it came to my house on Tuesday. Literally this Tuesday. It was so good, it went straight onto this panel. Okay? Quality assurance in another world. Okay? Quiet little village girl lives in the middle of the wood, in the middle of this big mountain with her village. And one day she meets a wandering dude who's there to study local plant life. And all of a sudden these dragons show up. And he helps them fight off the dragons. And he says, I'm going to defend your village. Everything's going to be fine. And she's never met anybody from outside her village before. So she thinks, oh my God, this guy's the greatest thing ever. We're going to help him. So she rallies the village and they all go help him fight the dragons. And everything's wonderful. And she says, Mr. Adventure, we did it. And he turns around and he's crying. And she says, Mr. Adventure, what's wrong? And he says, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried. I'm sorry. And she bursts into flames. The entire village burst into flames. And he says, I'm sorry. I've played this level 400 times and I still can't save you. So he is stuck in a video game. He is a debugger. He was one of the beta testers to come in and find all the glitches. And there was an accident and now he's trapped with a bunch of other debuggers who have been there for a year now. He's the only one still doing his job. Everybody else has succumbed to, just gold farming so they can buy everything. One dude's really into chicks. One lady's really into running around really fast with powers. Nobody's doing their job except him. And he thinks that if he just keeps doing his job for long enough and does it well enough, maybe he'll get to go home eventually. Right? It gets better. He wakes up the next morning after the village burns down, and she's alive again, and she can leave the village, and he doesn't know why. So now she's following him around, helping him debug the game. I know. Like, I read this, and she burst into flames, and I literally swore very, very badly. And my husband, who is quite happily playing Tears of the Kingdom without me, I should say. He kind of leans back in his gaming chair. He says, babe, you all right? And I said, no. And he said, do you need to come kill some moblins? And I said, yes. So yeah, Quality Assurance in Another World. It's only one book so far. It literally came out this week. This is brand off the counter new. Yes.
So basically we're all going to be fighting over that one, is what you're saying.
Yes. And yes, I did have this with me. Remember that. Okay. Of course, as soon as I saw there was a manga about libraries, of course I bought it. Because of course I did. All right. Mages of the Library. Fantasy world, a whole bunch of different races. They've been at war for like 100 years. The smartest person from each race got together and they had a big meeting. And they went to the governments and said, listen, the only reason we're having this war at all is because this culture insulted this culture because y'all don't talk to each other. So we're gonna fix that. So they made a public library system to go throughout the entire world. Every single village has a public library run by these librarians who are trained in a big capital city. Okay? And of course, this is a magic world, so all the books have like creatures trapped in them, and the librarians are trained in combat, and it's the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. And they go save this little village half-breed boy. He's been mixed race between two different races, which isn't supposed to happen. And he's so blown away by how amazing these people are that he decides he's going to become a librarian. So he travels to the city, and we are watching him go through his training and his tests to become a magical librarian. You see the art? You see the cover? See how pretty it is? Every single stinking page looks like this, okay? There's a reason this comes out so slowly, okay? There's only had 6 books in like 2 years. I know. They're very dense books, though. They're not quick. These are not quick reads. Oh, no, pay attention when you're reading, because you're going to want to read this like 4 times. Every single page, it's gorgeous, simply gorgeous. The character designs are unique. The character interactions are fantastic. The world is dense. I have no idea what's going to happen. So yes, definitely try Mages of the Library. This book is also a troll. It makes me angry. You can't read it, but I'm going to read the bottom to you. It says, based on Kohua of the Wind by Sophie Stickman. She doesn't exist. I read this first book and I really enjoyed it. I thought, oh good, it's based on something. I can read more. It doesn't exist. Trust me, I looked. Because they like to troll their readers. They thought it was funny. Literally, the author thought it would be funny if they put a joke. It's in the author's notes. It says that. We thought it'd be funny if we put a book title on there. Yeah. I had some very choice swear words that day. After going down the Google rabbit hole for 45 freaking minutes. All right. Realistic fiction. We're going to start off with a historical one. The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls. This is historical fiction. It's not based on our historical world. It's another world, but there's nothing fantastical in it. Okay, I can't just point at this and say this is Norway in 2002. I can't do that. BC. I got there. I'm tired. I mentioned I've been up since 3 a.m. All right. So The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls is about a squire who is learning how to be a knight, and he lives in a castle, and it's literally teaching you about castle life. It teaches you about the clothing that they wore. It teaches about how to build the castles, what each different knight was supposed to do, how they went shopping back then. It is literally historical fiction about medieval warfare and medieval knighthood. It's so good. I thought this was going to be like I thought it was an isekai. I legit thought it was an isekai until I read it. So, historical fiction trying to teach something into your tired little brains. It's also gorgeous. Also, he's a girl. He's a runaway noble. He's an orphan noblewoman who's hiding in a castle as a squire with a bunch of knights who do things that knights do, like bathe. Yeah. It has lots of those moments. Yes, it's educational stupidity. I love it. All right. Marie Kondo wrote a manga. What? Yeah. You know the lady who says if something doesn't give you joy, you should put it down? She wrote a freaking manga about it. It's literally Marie Kondo talking to her friend and trying to help her declutter her life. It's one book. It's amazing. It's amazing. It breaks down all of Marie Kondo's teachings is the wrong word, but I'm tired. It breaks down all of her teachings in an easily digestible format. And it's adorable because the lady goes and makes her life better. I love it so much. All right. We're almost done, I promise. All right. So these are my unique ones. These could fit in somewhere else, but I really like to talk about them, so I'm putting them in these. All right. This is My Brain is Different. This is 9 short stories about people who have developmental disorders, ADHD, depression, trigger warnings. There's definitely some suicidal ideation in here. There's a lot of talk about depression. So just know that going in. It is simply 9 short stories about how people live their lives being neurodivergent. You don't have to know anything else about it. I'm not gonna tell you any of the stories. You don't need to. I don't need to tell you because you're gonna go read it. Trust me. This is gonna be on every single library shelf within the next 6 months. Trust me. Is that rain or the air conditioner? Okay, cool. We don't have that over in the Manga Library. They say I do, but it's warm. All right. So yes, 9 simple short stories about neurological differences and why it makes you special. I'm so glad this got a book. I'm so glad it got a book. It got a book, guys. It's in print. I have it in my library. I got it last week. I'm so excited. Okay. The Little Trash Maid. If you've seen that really funny History of the World video, there's this one line in that History of the World YouTube video that says, "The ocean is full of plastic." And it is. The mermaids are okay with that. Our little mermaid, her name is Tidy, because of course it is. She lives in garbage because that's what the ocean gives her. So she wears a grocery bag as a shirt. She has soda can holders around her tail, and she collects things like cigarette butts because they're tasty. This is a completely wordless comic. There is no dialogue in this whatsoever. There's not a single word. Everything is told through the visuals. And it's just like 1 or 2 page stories about her making friends with 2 little adorable gay humans. And they try to tell her what things actually are, and she shows them what she uses the garbage for. It's one of those wonderful, I really like this guy. The author, when this started becoming popular on Webtoon, sorry, it's half of my life now. When he wrote this, he did like a GoFundMe, and he raised like $1 million. And he took that $1 million and he paid like 35 people to walk along the entire coast of California and clean up garbage along the beaches. It was awesome. He live streamed the whole thing. It was great. So I like this guy. I like his message. I love a stinking mermaid. She's so precious. So book 1 is now out. Hopefully people will go buy it so that he'll print more. So yeah, if you like your stories sweet, very, very funny, hysterically funny, you will love The Little Trash Maid. All right, we're down to the very last one. I promise, if you sit through this last suggestion, I will play you a video of kittens. All right, The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. All right, here we go. This is a single standalone graphic novel. Excuse me. All right. In this world, women cannot inherit property. Okay, only boys can inherit. Well, our main character is the only child of a nobleman. He lives out in the middle of nowhere in his quaint little village and everything, and he's dying. And he says, "All right, there's only one way I can do this. You need to disguise yourself as my son, so you can inherit the fortune and inherit the title. Move to the capital where no one knows you and start a new life. I want you to be happy." So she does. Every single name in this book is a cheese pun. His name is Count Camembert. The princess is called Brie. He meets the local princess, who is, of course, a political and social activist. Of course she is. And they fall in love. This is a sweet, adorable romance story about princess and a cross-dresser who love grilled cheese sandwiches. It gets worse. It gets worse. The authors is very, very nice two very nice married women. They have another story that's not in print yet that's going to come out soon. It's called Blades of Furry. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I could sum it up for you. Blades of Furry is about all right, here we go. Ready? Gay, furry, martial arts, figure skating, vampires. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Yep. It's on Webtoon. Enjoy it. No, it's about a dog and a deer. Yeah, it's a dog and a deer. Yeah, it's fantastic. Blades of Furry. Anyway, read Blades of Furry, then go read Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. This also just came out Tuesday. I immediately bought it. I had it pre-ordered because of course I did. So, my God, you've listened to me for 40 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm so proud of all of you. So, while I queue up your video of very cute kittens, I would like to open up the floor to questions. You can ask me things about the books that we just talked about the Manga Library. I can go back and talk about something a little deeper. General questions while I pull up the video of kittens. Yes, sir?
It's a library. Are we allowed to check something out?
They do have to stay in the room, unfortunately, because I've lost too many good books that way. But you don't have to sign them out or anything like that. The shelves just have at them. I went to another manga library once at a con where you had to give your badge to them, and all the books were behind a counter. And I couldn't touch them unless I gave them my badge, and I had to look at a list of names. I was like, but books. But books. I was very upset about it. Yes, dear.
So if we work in like a school or another public building,
Yes.
is there a way we can book your library?
So there's a business card right here. It's got a lovely website on it. Email me. We can have discussions. Other questions? Yes.
Is everything, do you have a copy of everything in the library for sale?
No, I don't. I wish I had that many books. No, the books on the shelves are not for sale. Those are the library. There's very obviously a sales table. It's got glitter all over it. You can't miss it. And it's got a whole table of books. And I've got more books under the table so that I can put more books on top of the table. So many books. There was a question. Yes.
Does Rooster Fighter have any special moves?
My favorite one is called Strut Beam. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to go read it. I'm not that nice. Yes, dear.
So you said this table has a bunch of glitter.
Yes.
What's the ratio between that table and the rest of your
The rest of the library?
Yeah.
The rest of the library's fine. It's got like one little stand thing. It's got a skull with some glitter in it. It's fine. You're not going to get glitter all over you. It's just sparkly.
But we're fishing for glitter here.
Do what?
We're fishing for glitter here.
I can't give you my dress. I'm sorry. I have 4 more. I'll have a different one tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to go here and then back there, okay?
Manga science fiction category.
Oh, that's a good question. Normally I have one. There hasn't been a good science fiction book out in about 5 years. They're reprinting a lot of really good old stuff. But there are very few good ones. I can give you a recommendation of one, though. It's called Arpeggio of Blue Steel.
Yes.
You didn't like it?
I watched the anime.
Don't watch the anime. Don't watch the anime. God, no, don't watch the anime. It's awful. Go read the manga. It's much better. No, that's not always true. Just so you know, I'm doing a panel on Sunday called Hot Take. The book was worse. That's Sunday at 11, okay? That's my only other panel this weekend. So, normally I do throw a science fiction category on there. I was brain dead this morning and just couldn't think of any good ones. But if you want to come to the library this weekend at any time, I'm literally in that room unless I'm running a panel. I can give you a personalized recommendation. I can literally walk you through the shelves. I'll ask you 2 or 3 questions. I will pick a book up and hand it to you, and you will love it. I am really good at my job. I'm going to get you in a second. I'm going to circle around this way, and then I got you. There was somebody right next to you that had a question. Yes?
You talked about how you serve many hospitals.
Yes.
Is there a certain kind of manga that they seem to like the most that you would recommend people bring?
Most of the time what I do for the hospitals and the children's shelters, anything shonen. Like the popular stuff. They want to read My Hero Academia. They want to read Death Note. They want to read Brain that does things and thinks and has numbers. Anything popular that they can watch on TV that they've never seen the book version of. Yeah, that's what they like. That's what they like all the time. All right, I'm going to circle back because there were people in the back that had questions, hands. Yes, you first.
There wasn't, so the romance, you didn't do any boys love. Do you have any recommendations for the boys love category?
So my favorite one to recommend is actually a book of short stories called J-Boy. It is just short story. It's just like, it's like this thick, and it's just story upon story upon story. I'm so sorry. Remember I said earlier how I rewrite this panel every time? I promise I have them in other panels, I swear. I am not like that. I have one of my volunteers is like a professional, different romance person. Basically, I go to her and I say, honey, what do I need to buy this month? And she gives me a list, okay? All right, there was a question over there. Yes, and then I got you.
Do you have a podcast?
I really wish I did. I'm working on it. We do a Patreon. If I get 50 people to join the Patreon, I swear I will do this as a podcast. And it'd be fun. And it might not even swear. All right, white hat, yes.
How long does it take to pack up a library? Your transport.
Okay, so to set it up takes about 4.5 hours because all the books have to come off the shelves, get inspected to make sure they're not, falling apart, because it happens a lot. They get packed into boxes, they go into a trailer, and we drive. Yes, I drove from North Carolina yesterday. I was in the car for 14 hours. Did you know that when you're traveling north on 65 from Indianapolis to get to Chicago, there's nothing? Once you leave Indianapolis, there's nothing. Just windmills for hours. Funny thing is, I actually grew up here, so I knew that. Yes, I'm circling back.
Okay, I'm just curious, do you have like a site you recommend? Because like a lot of times with buying manga is like if you're looking for something, sometimes like the only place is like Amazon, but do you have like sites that like maybe aren't as big?
So, not as many that are good anymore. Unfortunately, cheapmanga.com just closed. I was very upset about that. I spent so much money with them. Right Stuff usually has some of the best stuff, and they're a small business still, believe it or not. Most of the time I tell people is try not to buy them online. Go to library book sales. I'm serious. When your public library has that Friends of the Library book sale thing, you can buy manga for 50 cents. Yeah, literally. Okay? So other sites, there's really not a lot of, you have to hunt. You gotta hunt. There's not really a good distributor left, unfortunately, because everything's going digital. Except me, because I'm old school. So yeah, I know it sucks. All right, certainly. Do what?
What about like the digital? Sometimes I'm just looking for a story. I just want to read it.
Get the Viz app. I'm dead serious. It's worth every penny of getting the subscription to Viz. And the new Kodansha app is pretty good too. Kodansha app. Okay. They're pretty good too. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. All right, there was a question over here yes.
A friend of mine is getting a degree in library sciences.
Good for them.
What advice do you have for somebody starting their library career?
Talk to everyone. Go to the conferences, go to class, talk to everyone. 4 of my volunteers went to library school with me. Okay? Every time I do a con, I have librarians and library students come to me and say, hey, how can we do what you do? And I say, give me your number. When I'm in town, you can come work for me. You get to go to a con for free. Right? But yeah, talk to everybody. Because you never know. Okay, so quick, super fast story, because I do want to play you the video of the cats. I was walking through a con one day. I forget, God, I think it was in New York. And I was wearing one of my sparkly dresses, and somebody stopped me. And he was like, dude, I love your dress. I can't get over how nice your dress is. I'm like, well, thank you. And I'm twirling for him and everything. And he's wearing like this Wonder Woman sparkly onesie thing and these fantastic high-heeled shoes. And it took me about 2 minutes to realize I'm talking to John Barrowman. Okay? And he stopped me because he liked my dress. And then he started promoting my library on his talk show. And it made me happy. So talk to everyone. Yeah. You guys want some insider info? Yeah. You guys want to know something that I haven't told anybody yet? Yeah. Does anybody watch Overly Sarcastic Productions on YouTube?
Yeah.
So I've been talking to Blue. And he and Red had this idea. They're going to do a fundraiser for us this month. It's a secret fundraiser. They're going to do a live stream with a whole bunch of their friends from the Rolling with Difficulty podcast, and it's going to be a recommend-a-thon of books that they've read. I don't know when it is yet. They haven't told me. You guys don't know this. Shh. Go subscribe to OSP. All right, I have time for like 1 or 2 more questions, then I want to play cats. I already had a question from you, but I'm literally in the library the rest of the weekend. I promise I will answer all of your questions if you can't miss me. I'm covered in glitter. All right, yes.
Other than like, I know you mentioned certain stuff could be digital. How would you say that like manga is like release schedules have changed over the past?
I didn't hear the end of your question.
How would you say that like release schedules, what gets brought over, has changed in the past 10 years or so?
A lot more stuff gets brought over now. Like when I think about in the 1980s when I started collecting, I had to go hunt. Okay, I'm from the time where I really wanted to finish Revolutionary Girl Utena, the anime. I paid $75 for a VHS tape with 2 episodes on it. Okay, so I'm from the dark times. Y'all have it easy. Of course, not everything gets licensed to be brought over here, and I'm very sad about that. Please don't go read scanlations. That's not going to make them actually do anything. My best advice, whenever you see those surveys that come across from like Amazon or Right Stuff or Barnes & Noble, do those surveys because they actually read those and they want to know what they actually want us to buy. They want to know what we want them to buy. Please do the surveys, okay? All right, I have time for one more question. I'm going to play a video of Vera Hungry Kittens. Anybody? No? Yes.
You mentioned isekai being oversaturated.
Yes.
Undersaturated. What do you want more of?
Sci-fi. Honestly, there hasn't, like I said, there has not been a really good sci-fi series in years.
Yeah, they have Space Shuttle on.
Exactly. Like the last good sci-fi anime I can think of wasn't really sci-fi. It was Bodacious Space Pirates, which is the dumbest title I've ever heard in my life. That was another one of those, that was one of my vodka nights. I wanted to watch something stupid and get drunk. So I turned it on and I loved it. I loved every stinking minute of Bodacious Space Pirates. Oh my God, I can do a whole panel just on that.
They basically built an entire business around it.
Yes,
Fraud.
it's wonderful. All right, so like I said, I am leaving this room when we're done and I am going to the Manga Library right now. I'm not stopping. If you would like to follow my sparkly butt, you're welcome to do it. I am in that library until it closes tonight. I'll be in there tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm not leaving until 10 p.m. I sleep underneath the desk. Thank y'all so much for coming to my panel. Enjoy the rest of your convention.